Hey folks, it's been a few days since I've done a video, and that wasn't by choice. I've managed to avoid it for 3 years now, but finally COVID caught up with me. So I got what I think was the Omicron strain, and I've been dealing with that this week. Not too bad cold, but really nasty sore throat. That's probably the worst of it. Probably hear it in my voice, but I am a lot better today, and probably will test negative and can get back to normal over the weekend. So not too bad, but that's what's been happening with me. And the other big news, of course, is the death of another icon. Sorry, I have bad hair. The death of another icon in Jeff Beck. And you may have seen the video I did a few years ago of my favorite guitarists or guitarists who have influenced me, and you would probably be surprised that not a lot of the great classic rock guitarists make that list. I'm not a big worshipper of Clapton, even Page. I think they're brilliant. However, I understand what they're doing. They don't mesmerize me. They're just very good at what they do. But there are a couple of guitarists that are exceptions, and one of them is Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck, to me, even though I'm not a fanboy, I don't own all the albums. I've had Wired and what's the other big Beck album? Blow by Blow, that's it. I've had those two albums over the years. I think I've had one or two more. But I'm not a big fanboy. I don't listen to his albums all the time. I like to watch him play. So I've often binged Jeff Beck videos on YouTube because I like to watch him. And the reason I like to watch him is because, in my opinion, of all the classic rock greats, he's the poet. He's the painter. There's something about him that produces tones in ways that other guitarists just don't. If you think about the language of a guitar player, let me illustrate with a guitar. A guitar player has two basic tools, right? This hand that does all the noting, finger work. This hand that produces the sound, strumming, picking, whatever. I'd say a lot of the top guitarists, let me pull you down, all their expertise, gymnastics are here, all the shredders, and they have good picking technique, but it's this hand that's doing the amazing work. With Jeff Beck, kind of like my comments on Paco de Lucia, who's another one who fits into this category, this is the genius hand. Right here. This is the genius. This hand does so much more than most of the other guitar gods do. I mean, people like Brian May, David Gilmour, Richie Blackmore, they're all brilliant with this hand. But Beck just knows how to use this hand to produce so many different tones, whether it's with a pick, with fingers, with partial finger pick combinations, with nail, with flesh of nail. In that respect, he's more like a classical guitar player or a flamenco player because he knows how to use all the digits and different techniques, and he's always exploring sonic possibilities, ways to produce sounds with the combination of both hands. Both hands obviously cross over in their duties, but that's why I love him. He's not a guitar fetishist. He doesn't seem to have millions of guitars. You always see him with the same strats, occasionally with other guitars, but he doesn't move around guitars like a lot of guitar gods do. He has a simple instrument set up the way he likes it, and he gets the most out of that particular guitar. And that's why I think he's probably one of the greatest geniuses of guitar playing. just a painter. He has a palette that is wide, full of shades, lights, colors, textures. He plays three-dimensionally, if you know what I mean, unlike a lot of guitarists who are very linear. They stay in blues boxes, they stay in patterns, they play pentatonic scales mixed with, you know, other harmonic devices. You know, with Beck, he can't follow what he's doing. Yes, he can do all that. Yes, he's a great bluesman. You know, don't get me wrong on that. He can play straight blues like nobody else. But he knows how to break out of that and get out of that sort of pentatonic, boxed blues scale pattern and go into other sort of melodic and harmonic types of architecture, if you like, and produce sounds that break the mold of those scales in ways that other guitarists just don't. I mean, as brilliant as Clapton is, and I don't like making the comparison, Clapton pretty much stays within a harmonic language. People like Beck or Paco de Lucia or John McLaughlin don't. They know how to move across different languages. And, you know, Beck is perhaps the most, at times romantic, at other times sad, dolorous painter. And he uses such a magic palette to produce sounds and feelings. And if you go on YouTube and you see him, the other thing that strikes me about him is where most guitarists tend to peak and they get to a point where they're absolutely brilliant and then they start going downhill. I don't need to name names, it's just natural. Beck is one of those guys that I think got better in his old age. I really do. If you watch some of the recent videos on YouTube, you'll see what I mean. You know, he's not like playing for nostalgic sense, trying to rediscover his youth. He's always pushing forward, and some of his more latest performances are actually better and more mature and more adventurous than some of it, even his earlier ones, which were brilliant, of course. So yeah, there's my take on Jeff Beck. Again, I don't own all his albums. I'm not an expert. I just love to watch him play. He's one of those guitarists where I can just sit at his feet and stare up and watch him play. And there's probably only 3 or 4, 5 guitarists who do that to me, so he's one of them. So rest in peace, Jeff Beck. Alright folks, be back. Hopefully I'll sound better on the next video. Thanks a lot. See you soon.